Welcome to Question It, the podcast where we rethink health, wellness, and personal growth. I'm Kevin, your host, chief inquisitor, and sometimes guinea pig, exploring fresh paths to a better life. Let's dive into today's episode and get started. If you've ever struggled with any kind of joint pain, tendinitis, or chronic or overuse injury, then this episode is definitely for you. We're going to jump right into it using Google's Notebook LM, the AI, to summarize a bigger, deeper conversation that I've had on this topic. So I'd love to hear what you think when it's all done.
If you're listening to this, you've probably dealt with that super annoying joint pain.
Yeah.
Or that tendinitis that just
it never goes away.
won't quit.
Yeah, right.
You've tried stretching, you've exercised,
Yeah.
but the relief just seems temporary.
Yeah.
Today, we're diving deep into a totally fresh perspective on what might be causing these issues.
Yeah.
And explore some surprisingly simple solutions you can start using like right away.
Absolutely.
We're joined by Kevin, a biomedical engineer with over 20 years of experience as an injury-free Ironman triathlete, which is amazing.
Thank you.
He's designed joint replacements and worked with like the top orthopedic surgeons, giving him a truly unique understanding of how our bodies move and why things go wrong.
One of the most fascinating things I've learned is that like a lot of what we believe about joint pain is based on like these outdated ideas.
Interesting.
We often picture our joints pounding like hammers and nails.
Like just banging together.
Assuming wear and tear is just inevitable. But in reality, our joints are designed for this smooth, gliding movement.
Okay.
Our bodies are meant to move.
So if movement itself isn't the problem,
Yeah.
what is?
Well, the answer might surprise you.
Okay.
It's not necessarily about strengthening or even stretching.
Great.
It's about addressing those tiny knots that form in our muscles called trigger points.
Trigger points.
These knots are essentially mini muscle spasms where a small cluster of muscle fibers just gets stuck in a contracted state.
I've never thought about it that way.
Yeah.
How do these knots actually lead to pain?
Imagine a rope constantly being tugged at one end.
Okay.
Eventually, it starts to fray and weaken.
Yeah.
Similarly, these trigger points create constant tension on the tendons, which are the cords that connect our muscles to our bones.
Right.
This constant tugging can lead to inflammation of the tendon,
Okay.
what we call tendinitis.
Nah.
And over time, it can even cause the tendon to degenerate, leading to arthritis and chronic pain.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
So are you saying that these knots are often the underlying cause of the pain
Exactly.
rather than the joint itself?
Exactly.
Wow.
And here's the really interesting part.
Okay.
These knots can actually make us feel weak
Oh, really?
because the muscle fibers are stuck in this contracted state.
Right.
They can't fully lengthen or contract.
Huh.
This means that when you try to strengthen that muscle,
Yeah.
it won't be able to fire properly,
Ooh.
giving you a false sense of weakness.
Wow.
You might think you need to build more strength when the real issue is restricted movement caused by these knots.
So how do we get rid of these knots?
The key is to release those muscle fibers
Okay.
and restore their ability to move freely.
Yeah.
That's where manual manipulation comes in.
Okay.
Think of it like giving your muscles a good deep massage.
Massage sounds great,
Yeah,
but it's not exactly something I can do every day.
that's where foam rolling comes in, like a self-massage that you can do anytime, anywhere,
Right.
and you don't need any fancy equipment.
Yeah.
One of my favorite tools is something you probably already have in your kitchen,
Okay.
an Nalgene bottle.
An LG bottle. You're kidding,
I'm
really?
serious.
Huh?
The wide mouth 1 liter kind is surprisingly sturdy and effective.
Huh.
Just add some grip tape to prevent it from slipping.
Okay.
And you've got a portable, affordable foam roller that you can even take on hikes.
Wow, that's pretty ingenious.
Yeah.
What about those smaller knots that a foam roller might miss?
For those, I recommend swapping out the tennis ball for a cork ball.
A cork ball. Interesting.
It's lighter and just as effective at targeting those trigger points.
So we've got our DIY tools,
Yeah.
but how often should we be using them?
The key to success with foam rolling is consistency.
Okay.
I recommend rolling twice a day,
Right.
focusing on relaxing the muscle you're working on to allow the tool to penetrate deeper and release those knots more effectively.
Okay, so relax the muscle, roll twice a day.
Right.
What else should we keep in mind?
It's all about finding that sweet spot that hurts so good feeling.
Yeah.
If you're experiencing sharp shooting pain, you're pushing too hard.
Okay.
But a dull ache is usually a good sign that you're targeting those knots effectively.
Interesting.
Warming up the muscles beforehand with a hot shower or heating pad can also make the rolling more effective.
This is a lot to take in. We've covered some really important concepts, but there's still more to unpack.
Yeah.
We'll be back in the next part of this deep dive with more practical tips and techniques for tackling those pesky muscle knots.
Absolutely.
And achieving lasting relief from joint pain and tendinitis.
For sure.
Stay with us.
Please do.
Do you want to build stronger, more meaningful connections with the people who matter most? Uchi, the free app, makes it simple and fun to spark real conversations using the power of the written word that nurture love, connection, and belonging. With thousands of thought-provoking questions available, Uchi helps you and your loved ones feel heard, understood, and truly valued. Here's the best part. Uchi keeps it private. Only your Uchi friends can read your answers, and only after they've answered the same question. It's real two-way connection, reimagined. Whether you're strengthening family bonds, deepening friendships, or even leading a small group at work or school with a custom Uchi tribe, Uchi makes emotional health easier. Download Uchi today on iOS or Android and start building your Uchi, your in-group of meaningful connections. Uchi, real conversations. Real connections.
Now, when it comes to actually using these tools, there's a bit of an art to it.
Okay.
It's not just about mindlessly rolling back and forth.
Right.
You want to be intentional.
Yeah.
And really focus on feeling for those trigger points.
So what's the best way to approach a foam rolling session?
First, remember to relax the muscle you're working on.
Okay.
Think of it like surrendering to the sensation, allowing the tool to do its work.
Right.
When a muscle is tense, it creates this barrier that prevents you from really getting into those deeper knots.
It's kind of like trying to give a massage to a clenched fist.
Exactly.
It's not going to be very effective.
Right.
So we want to create that sense of openness and relaxation.
Exactly. And remember, warming up those muscles beforehand can make a big difference.
Okay.
Hot shower, a heating pad, or even some light cardio can help to loosen things up and make the rolling more effective.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
So we've talked about relaxing the muscles, warming up, and finding those hurt-so-good spots.
Right.
But what about targeting specific areas where we're experiencing pain?
Yeah.
Say, for example, someone is dealing with knee pain.
Yeah.
Where would they focus their rolling?
That's where understanding the connection between muscles and joints becomes really important.
Okay.
Knee pain, for instance, is often caused by tightness in the quadriceps,
Okay.
those muscles at the front of your thigh.
So instead of focusing on the knee itself, we need to target the muscles that are pulling on it.
Precisely. By releasing those trigger points in the quads, you can reduce the tension on the tendons that attach to your knee, potentially alleviating the pain.
Gotcha.
And this same principle applies to other areas of the body as well.
Interesting.
For example, tennis elbow.
Right.
That pain on the outside of the elbow
All right.
is often caused by tightness in the forearm muscles, particularly those involved in gripping and wrist extension.
So spending hours on the computer
Yeah.
could contribute to those knots and eventually lead to tennis elbow.
Absolutely. In that case, you'd want to focus on rolling the forearms with a cork ball or even using that Nalgene bottle to release those tight muscles.
And for lower back pain, which so many people experience, tight hip flexors are often the culprit.
Often. From sitting all day.
Exactly.
Right.
Regularly rolling the hip flexors
Yeah.
can significantly reduce tension in the lower back
Absolutely.
and even improve posture.
For sure.
It's amazing how interconnected our bodies are.
It is.
And it seems like these simple techniques
Yeah.
can potentially address a wide range of issues.
That's the beauty of understanding the root cause of these problems.
Okay.
By addressing those underlying muscle imbalances,
Yeah.
we can have a profound impact on our overall well-being.
Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground here.
We have.
But there's one thing I keep coming back to.
Yeah.
We're talking about relatively simple tools and techniques here.
Right.
A Nalgene bottle, a cork ball, some foam rolling. Can this really make a significant difference when it comes to pain relief
Yeah.
and preventing further injury?
I understand your skepticism,
Okay.
but I've seen it firsthand, both in my own life and in the lives of countless others. The body has this incredible ability to heal itself.
Right.
And sometimes all it needs is a little nudge in the right direction.
Okay.
By releasing those muscle knots, we're essentially restoring the body's natural ability to move freely and function optimally.
So it's not a magic cure,
Right.
but it's giving our bodies the tools they need to heal themselves.
Exactly. And remember, consistency is key.
Okay.
Think of foam rolling like flossing for your muscles.
Okay.
Just like you wouldn't floss only once a week and expect to have healthy gums,
right.
Consistent rolling is essential for maintaining optimal muscle function and preventing those knots from returning.
That's a great analogy.
Thanks.
So we're talking about making this a daily habit, part of our overall self-care routine.
Precisely. And the best part is it's far more affordable and accessible than repeated trips to the doctor or physical therapist.
Right.
You're taking control of your own well-being, empowering yourself to address these issues proactively.
This has been such an eye-opening conversation.
I agree.
We've learned that those nagging aches and pains might not be a sign of inevitable wear and tear,
right,
but rather a call to address those hidden muscle knots that are restricting our movement and causing discomfort.
Absolutely.
We've explored some surprisingly simple tools and techniques that we can all incorporate into our daily lives to release those knots and restore our body's natural ability to move freely and painlessly.
For sure.
But our deep dive isn't over yet.
No, it's not.
In the final part, we'll explore the crucial role of listening to our bodies.
Yes.
And how tuning into those subtle signals can guide our rolling practice and help us achieve optimal results.
I'm excited for that.
Stay with us.
Not all physical pain, including joint pain, has a physical cause. Emotional stress and poor relationships can create muscle knots, tendinitis, and tension stored in your body. Supporting your emotional health and relationships could be the key to lasting relief. Uchi, a social app, not social media, is designed to strengthen relationships and nurture emotional health. With thousands of thought-provoking questions, it helps you build connection, reduce stress, and feel truly heard and valued. By addressing emotional pain, Uchi may even help release tension stored in your body. As Bessel van der Kolk says, the body keeps the score. Download Uchi today on iOS or Android and start building your Uchi, your in-group of meaningful connections. Uchi, real conversations, real connections.
So we've been talking about how those nagging aches and pains,
right,
we often just dismiss as wear and tear, might actually be caused by these tiny knots in our muscles called trigger points.
Trigger points,
And we've explored some simple but surprisingly effective tools. Like Nalgene bottles and cork balls.
Right.
That we can use to release those knots and restore our body's natural ability to move freely.
Exactly.
But there's one crucial piece of the puzzle we haven't talked about yet. The importance of listening to our bodies.
That's right. Tools and techniques are important, but they're only part of the equation.
Okay.
What really sets this approach apart
Yeah.
is the emphasis on becoming aware of what our bodies are telling us.
So it's not just about going through the motions with the foam roller.
Right.
It's about being present and paying attention to how our muscles are responding.
Exactly. Instead of blindly following a routine,
okay,
you want to be mindful during your rolling sessions.
Yeah.
Tuning into those areas of tenderness.
Right.
And adjusting your pressure and technique accordingly.
So how do we know if we're on the right track? What should we be feeling?
It's all about finding that sweet spot, that hurts so good feeling.
Right.
If you're feeling sharp shooting pain,
yeah,
that's a sign to ease up. But if it's more of a dull ache, that's generally a good indication that you're hitting those trigger points effectively.
Okay, so it's about finding that balance between challenge and comfort.
Right.
But it sounds like it takes some practice to really understand those subtle signals our bodies are sending.
It does, but the more you practice,
okay,
the more attuned you'll become to your body's language. You'll start to recognize those subtle differences in sensation.
Right.
And learn what works best for you.
It's like building a relationship with our muscles.
I love that.
Learning to understand their needs.
I love that analogy.
Yeah.
And as that relationship deepens,
yeah,
you'll be amazed at how much better your body feels.
Right.
How much more you can do.
It's empowering to realize that we don't have to just live with pain.
Yeah.
We have the power to influence our own health and well-being.
Yeah.
By tuning into our bodies and giving them the care they need.
That's the beauty of this approach. It's not about relying on doctors or expensive treatments. Right.
It's about tapping into our own innate healing abilities.
It's been such an eye-opening deep dive.
I agree.
We've learned that joint pain and tendinitis might not be inevitable consequences of aging or overuse, but rather signals that we need to address those hidden muscle knots that are restricting our movement and causing discomfort.
Absolutely.
And we've discovered that we don't need fancy equipment or complicated techniques to find relief.
Right.
Simple tools like a Nalgene bottle and a cork ball,
yeah,
combined with a mindful approach to foam rolling, can make a world of difference.
For sure.
So if you're ready to take control of your own well-being and experience the freedom of movement without pain?
Right.
Grab that water bottle, find a quiet spot, and start exploring the amazing world of self-massage and muscle release.
I love it.
You might be surprised at what you discover.
You will.
Thanks for joining us on this journey of discovery. And until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep moving.
Great advice.
I'm really curious what you think about this different approach to understanding joint pain and tendinitis. It seems like we've been going down a path for a really long time, looking at the structure of the anatomy and really focusing on where the pain is located and thinking that that is the problem. But oftentimes where we are experiencing a certain pain or behavior, that is usually just a symptom of a deeper issue or of an issue that is located somewhere else, located in the anatomy or located in the psyche. So I'd love to hear your thoughts. I hope you'll join this episode's Uchi Tribe and dig into a deeper conversation and really try to help you and everyone decrease their joint pain, tendinitis, and live healthier, happier lives. Thanks for joining me on this episode of Question It. Remember, growth happens outside your comfort zone, so keep experimenting with life and embracing change. If you enjoyed this episode, please connect with me in the show notes, leave a 5-star review on the platform of your choice, and please join this episode's Uchi Tribe to dig into deeper conversation with me and fellow listeners. Until next time, peace, love, and connect.